What have you guys been doing before you started recording? How did you spend your time off?
It's a tough one. I don't know. We kind of like, no, we went to Brazil for a month or 6 weeks. We did that. Kind of basically, I've been just clowning around for the most part, exploring with my sexuality and, you know, riding on motorcycles.
Yeah, you know, we kind of, actually, you know, we got off tour really officially January or February, and within about 3 weeks, we were back in the studio writing songs. I think this past year's been spent arguing with, amongst band members on when we were ready to start writing songs again. So some people started writing early, some people started writing late. The people that started writing late probably, you know, had a different kind of time than the people started writing early. So it was a very, it was a year of limbo, I think, for the whole band, because everybody was relaxing and screwing around, but at the same time, I don't think anybody was relaxing and screwing around, because if they weren't yelling at somebody, they were getting yelled at.
What point are you guys up to in the recording process right now?
We've pretty much finished doing the bass and the drums, recording those. Those are pretty much all done. We just started keyboards today. That's what you guys saw today, was keyboards that we were doing. We'll do that for, you know, maybe a couple more days and then start adding guitar and vocals.
What songs did we hear today?
They pretty much just have working titles.
Yeah,
right
we
now,
usually say the names till last, so we don't. One was called Triplet. One was called.
One was called Shuffle. One was called Sample Song, and one was called Country Western Song.
I guess you can guess which ones those were.
They're just kind of code names for now.
I have to ask this sort of generic question. How do you think the band has evolved musically in the last album?
I don't know if evolved. We've kind of devolved to a certain process.
Yep.
We wrote songs. Before we used to write songs just, well, the kind of core of it would be the keyboards, the bass, and the drummer, and we'd start from there. But we had other songs where, like, the guitar player would come in and play a riff and, like, have a couple ideas. Well, this time it didn't really work out like that. We kind of stuck to the core this time around and just did basic keyboard, drums, and bass.
You know, it's interesting. What we used to do, I think, has become kind of a formula in a sense, because we did really well. What we did at the time we were doing it seemed really exciting and new, but I think we've kind of worn a certain aspect of that out. Like I know there's like certain ways that we're getting defined now as kind of like a funk metal thing, like funk metal crossover. And if anybody really got sick of that, it was us, because we were getting tagged this thing all along. And I think if anything, what we learned how to do is more hear what's inside our heads and play it. And if anything, it's made us not want to be a funk metal band and just be a musical band. At the same time as well, people are listening to us now, or they will be listening to us. We've got everybody's ear. And, you know, we definitely want to do something that's, you know, really quality, that's out of our heads now that we've got everybody's ear.
Does the album have a title yet, or is there an album title that you're thinking of?
Yeah, we think we're going to call it Angel Dust. That's the title right now. Whether that's going to fly, we'll see. Seems like it will. Do you think people would have a problem with that? I don't.
But it was either Mike or Jim told me that, but I don't remember if they liked it. Billy, how about you? Do you have something in mind for the title?
That's the title, yeah.
Very cool. Can you guys pick some of the songs and describe how they sound to me or what they're about, just to give us a little preview?
Yeah, we got a couple different things going on. One of the first things we had was, like, that I played today was a country western song. Kind of real melodic, white trash sort of country western style song. Something we hadn't really tried before. A couple other ones. What's some other ones? We have one that sounds kind of like the Carpenters. It's called the Carpenters song. Sounds like a Carpenters riff that we kind of like. That's more in our vein, I guess. I don't know. There's no funk metal on it.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Is there?
A little funk song.
Oh yeah, we have one song called the Funk Song.
It's really going to sound a lot different, but it's going to be more theatrical, I think, if that's anything. It's more like, in a way, kind of like cabaret or something. If that makes any kind of sense. I mean, I guess it would be, I don't know. It's really going to be hard to describe. But there is a lot of diversity. See, I think the last record, to me, doesn't have much diversity. Maybe it did when it came out, but I can't remember feeling that it did. It must have, because everybody, like, a lot of people wrote that it did. But this, I know, has a lot of diversity, and that last one kind of, everything kind of started sounding the same to me. So it'll probably be really extreme.
Is there any one favorite song that you have, and why is it important to you?
Not right now, no. I like the country western song a lot just because it seems most finished. It's hard to like make any sort of opinions on what I like best because everything's kind of like halfway done.
You feel the same, Bill?
Yeah, kind of. The songs are all written as songs, but they're not. We're not listening to them as finished songs. So there's so many things that can happen till then.
So they're still changing as you're recording them?
Yeah.
Is that how you guys work, kind of?
It's hard to say. You know, you can't really tell how something's going to sound until you hear it finished. You know, you can always think it's going to be a certain way. Like we were trying to argue on which song's going to be on the record now, and it's kind of impossible to say. We're recording 17 songs right now. You can't really say which one's going to be on and not until you really finish every song, and you could pick out, you know, how it works out. So it's really hard to say.
Are there any specific situations or topics that influenced you while you were writing songs?
Not really so much. The only topic I think that we all commonly shared in this writing process was like a real stagnation. We've been doing a lot of sitting around and like looking at each other and feeling bad because we weren't writing songs and realizing, boy, we better start to get to work. And that was kind of this whole antsy thing that started. That was a lot of the motivation for me anyway.
It was like a snowball. Starts off really small and then gets really large and picks up momentum. The first 4 months, the snowball was very small, and the momentum was not quite going yet. So I think once it started rolling, it was okay, but it was a slow road.
Can you guys talk about each other's playing, like, or the different sounds that you're hearing with everyone?
Each other's?
Yeah, if you want to say something about, like, Billy's bass playing.
Yeah, Billy's probably the way I see it is not doing as much like slap funk sort of bass stuff, which I think is really good. I think of all times, it's probably a really good time to move away from that. He's using stand-up bass on a couple songs. It sounds pretty clean, pretty good. We just recorded this really great song for a Dead Kennedys compilation that our old record label is putting out. And on that, we did Let's Lynch the Landlord, that Dead Kennedys song, and Billy played stand-up bass, and I played accordion, and Puffy Borden played a little stand-up drum kit. And I think listening to that and recording that kind of made us all realize, wow, we have a whole lot of room we can work with. We could do this on our record if we want, and we did.
Yeah, and we recorded it like at my house, like in a bedroom. So it was really cool because we really pretty much had everything to do with what we did, which is real important. I think that when things start getting in the hands of other people, I think we start getting really bummed out and depressed. But like with Roddy playing accordion and stuff, and playing stand-up, it definitely gives you an idea, you know, the potential. You can pretty much play any kind of music you want.
Tell me about the lyrics. What's going on with this album?
With the lyrics? I'm not really sure so much. I've heard a bunch of them, but I think Mike is still probably working on a lot of them. The only one that really sticks out clear in my head is the one for the country western song. He's kind of like playing the role of this fat white trash man that's living in a trailer park and kind of just reflecting on life. I think he's going to be doing a lot of that. Mike will probably be playing a bunch of different roles sort of things, which I think is good. I hope he gets a lot of heat for it, because I think, you know, singers should be exploring that side of like songwriting a lot more. Like actors and actresses never get criticized for playing the parts they play, you know, whether they're offensive or not. I think it's really good for singers to, you know, take on roles as well. You know, it's really thought-provoking. I think he's going to be doing a lot of that on the new record. A lot of offensive role-playing.
And a lot of fun.
Mm.
Okay. When do you guys hit the road, and what are your expectations for the upcoming tour?
I don't know. No expect. We should start touring, I think, around May.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
We don't really know what to expect, because this is kind of like new territory for us. I mean, our last record, you know, from where we were when we put it out to where when we finished the touring, you know, we were in a totally different place, you know, mentally and physically. So it's hard to say where the hell we're going and whether this is going to go into the toilet right away or be a great record. We don't know, you know.
Yeah, it turned around pretty quick. Like all of the last year that we were touring and put out a record, we were the underdog, and people were always pitying us. Oh, look at this band that got overlooked for so long, and they're so good. Look, and you know they're always playing these bad spots. You know they always got to open up for bands, and really they should be doing a lot better. And now all of a sudden, well, guess what? We are, and that's trouble.
And on the flip side of that, like all these like ailing bands that were looking for something new to like catch, you know, grab onto, you know, to like keep them from sinking in the pool. You know, we were the, you know, obvious choice. And so now we're wondering, you know, maybe we can, you know, get on these big tours, or maybe we're just, you know, this, who knows, you know.
We're pretty naive still as well.
Yeah.
Okay. In just a few words, can you describe what life on the road is like?
What about the girls, or the drugs, or the parties, or what do you want to know? The trashing of the hotel rooms? Like what aspect of touring?
Live.
Live, playing live. That's the best part, I think. It's probably really cliche, but it's the best part of on the road is playing live. It's just like all these people in the audience are like screaming for you and like clapping for you and loving you. Well, it's pretty great. Otherwise, on the road is dull. It sucks, you know. You never get to see what you want to see. You go to different countries, you know. Oh, wow, how exotic. And you never get to see anything. I don't like it a whole lot. It's kind of fun. You meet different people.
You know, we toured to Brazil. We had a great time because we got to get out and run around and stuff like that. And plus, at the shows, anything can happen. Literally, anything can happen in a show in Brazil. You know, people could be killed at a show in Brazil. I mean, anything can happen. People, you know, running around naked or whatever. It's a little harder in the United States because this is the security thing, and I guess that's to help people out, you know, and make things safe. But at the same time, you know, it's the random factors which keeps you interested and makes the shows real exciting. And when you take a little of the randomness away and you make it just like go, it's like in a way it's kind of like people are coming to see a movie and you're the movie. Unfortunately, you have to be the, you know, the movie playing every night, you know. And as long as conditions kind of stay away from that, it's pretty cool to play live and tour. If it isn't like that and things don't happen at the show, at the live show, then it gets really dull because, especially like when you play the bigger venues, they're usually on the outskirts of town. So you hang out like, the bus pulls up like, and you hang out in either the parking lot of the arena or in the dressing room, which is like it's like a basketball sports dressing room. And you know, it's not like you can go into town and go to a bookstore, or you can go see a movie, or you can, you're outside of town and you don't have any car to get into town, so you're sitting around like, you know, eating M&Ms out of the bowl and just waiting for dinner and then waiting to go on stage and then waiting to get back on the bus. So, you know, it's really important that things are exciting at the show.
I know it's still early, but any predictions for what the first video will be or single?
No idea, really. I don't know what the new one would be.
We know we're definitely going to make a video of one song, and right now it's just codename is Action Adventure, but it's going to be an action piece, as you can tell in the name.
Sort of a spy number we've
Yeah.
been working on. Real James Bond sort of feel to it.
It's one of us, it's like we're like a kind of like a team. Jim wears a leotard, actually. He's going to wear a leotard in it and a cape. And be able to climb walls. He's gonna have suction cups on his fingers and his feet, and he's gonna scale walls.
Real superhero theme we want to go for with this song. It's called Action Adventure Song. Whether or not
Actually, the name of the song I think is gonna be called Crack Hitler, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right, Crack Hitler. That's the name of the song. Crack Hitler.
Because the villain, in his usage of the drug, would modify his personality to the extent that he would be highly irritable.